Hey everyone, and welcome to the deep dive. We're gonna be looking at the recent wildfires in Los Angeles, but we'll be focusing on how we can use this real world event to help you expand your English vocabulary.
It's really fascinating because this event mirrors a global trend. Wildfires are becoming more frequent and intense, and there's a clear connection to climate change.
Yeah, and that's an important point. It's like these fires are kind of sending us a message, about this bigger picture. I was reading some reports actually, and they're painting a really intense picture, almost like a war zone.
Yeah, it's devastating. President Biden even compared it to a war scene. Tragically, 10 people have already died,
Oh wow.
and something like 10,000 homes and buildings have been destroyed.
It's just insane to think about the scale of the loss. It's really hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah, it's really heartbreaking when you consider the human impact. Those stories coming out of the affected areas are really powerful.
Yeah.
Um, for example, there's a couple, Pete and Angela Mitchell, who lost their home of over 10 years in Altadena.
Oh god.
And their story is just one of countless others of families who are facing loss and displacement.
Right. And it really makes you appreciate how fragile everything is.
Yeah.
One minute you have a home and the next it's gone. But it is inspiring though to see how people are coming together to help each other.
Yeah, for sure.
There was this article about a group of volunteers in one of the affected areas, and they're calling themselves the Heat Hawks.
I love that.
I know, right? It's such a great name. And they're using anything they can find, fire extinguishers, water supplies, anything to try and contain the fires and protect their neighborhood.
It's amazing. Their efforts really demonstrate the strength of community spirit in the face of disaster. What's also interesting is that even Malibu, known for its wealthy residents and expensive homes, has been hit hard by the fires.
Wow.
It shows that these natural disasters, they don't discriminate. They affect everyone.
Yeah, you're right. It's a real leveler. It reminds us that we're all vulnerable in the face of nature's power.
Yeah.
And speaking of the fire spreading, one of the reports mentioned this fire called the Palisades Fire that was burning out of control for a while.
Yes, the Palisades fire has been one of the most challenging to contain. Firefighters have been working tirelessly, and they've managed to get it about 8% contained as of now.
Okay.
But another significant fire, the Eaton fire, burning in the Altadena neighborhood, is only 3% contained. And the firefighters are facing incredibly difficult conditions, very limited resources, and the worry is that these strong winds could make things even worse.
So it's almost like a race against time.
Yeah.
Those firefighters are true heroes, putting their lives on the line like that to protect others. It's amazing to think there are 3,000 firefighters battling these blazes right now,
Hmm.
and they're still struggling to get them under control.
Yeah, the sheer scale of these fires is unprecedented.
Yep.
News footage shows entire streets reduced to ashes. One particular image that stuck with me was of Fair Oaks Avenue in Altadena. It's almost completely destroyed. Homes, businesses, memories, all gone.
It's just heartbreaking.
Yeah,
And early estimates suggest the damage could reach a staggering 122 billion pounds.
Mm.
It's hard to even fathom a number that large.
it is. Yeah.
And on top of the immediate damage, there's also a curfew in place in some areas to prevent looting in abandoned homes.
Right.
It's just a sad reminder that even in a crisis, some people will take advantage of the situation.
Yeah, it highlights the complex challenges that arise in the wake of a disaster. We see not only the immediate danger, but also the potential for social unrest and crime.
It's like a ripple effect with consequences that extend far beyond the initial event. It's not just about the fires themselves, but the long-term impact on the community and the environment.
Exactly. And while we're grappling with this immediate aftermath, it's crucial to look at the bigger picture. The news reports mention the Santa Ana winds, known for their strength and their role in fanning the
Yeah,
flames.
those winds are notorious.
Yeah, and these winds, coupled with months of dry conditions from lack of rain, have created the perfect storm for these fires to ignite and spread so rapidly.
It's a terrifying combination of factors, making it almost impossible to control the situation.
And this brings us to a crucial question. What role does climate change play in all of this?
It's a question scientists are asking for sure. One article I read stated that last year was the hottest ever recorded, with temperatures 1.6 degrees Celsius higher than the pre-industrial average.
That's right. And experts warn that we're on the brink of exceeding the 1.5 degrees Celsius target set in the Paris Agreement, the limit meant to prevent the most severe effects of global warming.
So that means that these extreme weather events, like these intense wildfires, could become even more frequent and intense in the future.
Exactly. The situation in Los Angeles is a stark reminder that climate change isn't some distant threat. It's a reality we're facing right now.
It's definitely a wake-up call for all of us. And while it's a serious and complex issue, it's important to be able to discuss it clearly and accurately. And that's where learning English comes in.
You're absolutely right. Having a strong vocabulary allows us to understand these complicated situations and engage in meaningful conversations about them. We've already encountered several key terms today, like wildfires, firefighters, containing the blaze, the perilous situation, the curfew, looting, suburbs, smoldering remains, evacuation, and the tragic reality of homes turning to ashes. Each word paints a vivid picture of this crisis unfolding in Los Angeles.
It's like having the building blocks to understand the news and expressing your thoughts about it.
Yeah.
And speaking of building your language skills.
This brings us back to FunFluent,
Yeah.
a fantastic resource for learning English through movies.
It's such a cool concept. Imagine being able to understand all those Hollywood blockbusters without subtitles.
Yeah, it's not only entertaining, but incredibly effective. Movies provide authentic language and context, helping you learn naturally and effortlessly.
So if you're looking for a fun and engaging way to boost your English skills, definitely check out FunFluent.
And before we move on, we want to remind you to subscribe to the Deep Dive for more episodes that'll make you smarter and more fluent.
We'll be right back after a short break.
So now that we've kind of laid the groundwork, let's delve deeper into some of the vocabulary we've encountered and see how it's being used in the context of these wildfires.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a great idea. I'm ready to dive in.
So let's take the phrase containing the wildfire, for instance. This refers to the efforts of firefighters to prevent the fire from spreading further. It's a critical aspect of wildfire
It's
management.
it's like drawing a line in the sand and saying this far and no further.
Exactly. And another word we came across was perilous. It really emphasizes the dangerous nature of these situations and highlights the risks that both the firefighter and residents face.
Yeah, it really does paint a picture of the danger that they're all in. And then there's looting,
Yeah.
which unfortunately reflects the the opportunistic crimes that sometimes happen during emergencies.
Yeah.
It's sad to see people taking advantage of such a devastating situation.
Yeah, sadly, it is a reality we see in many disasters, and that's why authorities often impose a curfew to try and prevent these incidents and safeguard people's property.
Right. It's a necessary measure, even though it does restrict people's freedom at a difficult time. And speaking of restrictions, the evacuation orders must be so disruptive for those who are forced to leave their homes.
Absolutely. It's a very stressful and uncertain time for anyone who has to evacuate. They're leaving their lives behind, not knowing when they can return or what they'll even find when they do.
And for some, tragically, there's nothing to return to but ashes. It's a stark reminder of the destructive power of these wildfires.
Indeed, the word ashes evokes this sense of complete destruction, leaving behind only, remnants of what once existed.
Yeah, it's a powerful and somber image. But amidst the devastation, we also see glimmers of hope. The volunteer efforts like those of the Heat Hawks really showcase the resilience of the human spirit.
Absolutely. Their actions speak volumes about the strength of community and the willingness to help others in need, even when facing personal risk.
Yeah, it's really inspiring to witness people coming together like that during these really challenging times.
It really underscores the importance of community preparedness and resilience, especially as we face the prospect of more frequent extreme weather events in the future.
Right. Which brings us back to that crucial issue of climate change. It's a complex subject, but having a firm grasp of the vocabulary can help us discuss it more effectively.
Precisely. For example, understanding the concept of pre-industrial levels is essential for grasping the extent to which human activities have altered the Earth's climate.
Yeah, it provides a baseline for measuring the changes we've caused. And the term global warming describes that overall trend of rising temperatures across the globe.
Exactly. And climate change encompasses the broader range of effects that stem from those rising temperatures. This includes more frequent and intense heat waves, droughts, floods, and as we've seen, wildfires.
Right. It's like a chain reaction where one change triggers another, ultimately impacting our entire planet.
Precisely. And the situation in Los Angeles serves as a stark reminder that these impacts aren't hypothetical. They're happening right now, right before our eyes.
It's a powerful reminder that we need to take action to address climate change and mitigate its effects But what can we do on an individual level? It all seems so overwhelming.
That's a great question, and one we'll explore further when we return for the final part of our deep dive. We'll discuss some concrete steps individuals can take to contribute to a more sustainable future.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. From the heartbreaking devastation of the LA wildfires to the complex issue of climate change and even, some key English vocabulary along the way.
Yeah, it's been a real deep dive. And you're right, these events raise a lot of questions and a lot of concerns.
For sure. Like what can we actually do about climate change? It feels like such a massive problem.
It is a massive problem, but that doesn't mean that individual actions are meaningless. In fact, they're really crucial.
Okay, so what can we do? What can we do to make a difference?
Well, for starters, we can reduce our carbon footprint. This means being mindful of our energy consumption at home, opting for public transportation or cycling when possible, and making conscious choices about the products we buy.
So like swapping those energy guzzling light bulbs for more efficient ones and maybe cutting back on all those online shopping sprees.
Exactly. And those small changes can add up. Another powerful tool is our voice. We can advocate for change by contacting our elected officials, supporting organizations that are fighting for climate action, and raising awareness in our communities.
So it's about making our voices heard and demanding action from those in power.
Precisely. And remember, knowledge is power. The more we understand about climate change, its causes, and its impacts, the better equipped we are to make informed decisions and advocate for solutions.
So it's all about educating ourselves and spreading that knowledge to others.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up our deep dive today, it's worth circling back to FunFluent. They're doing incredible work by making language learning accessible and engaging through the power of movies.
Yeah, I love that idea. Learning a language while enjoying a good film, it's a win-win.
Exactly. It's a testament to the fact that learning can be both enjoyable and effective.
So whether you're motivated to learn English, to discuss global issues, connect with people from different cultures, or simply expand your horizons, resources like FunFluent can really help you achieve those goals.
And as we conclude this episode, we want to thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the LA wildfires, climate change, and the importance of language in understanding these complex issues.
And remember, knowledge is power, and communication is key to creating a more sustainable and just world.
So stay curious, keep learning, and don't forget to subscribe to the deep dive for more insightful explorations of the topics that matter most.
Until next time, keep those English skills sharp and your minds open to the world around you.